my friends. Welcome to the metal shop. Working on the Cobra today. We're going to talk a little bit about handbrakes. And as you know, this is a later Mark II, so it came with just a basic Fox Body Mustang handbrake, adapted to work and mounted on the floor of the passenger side. Not really ideal. And when I bought this car, I was literally picking the car up. I handed the guy the bank check, and taking the car, and it was running. I pulled it out and went to put the handbrake on, and the cable snapped. So, and then later on when I went to fill it up that same day, the cable, one of the ends of the cable caught around the drive shaft and quickly broke, overcome by the massive power of the stock Ford 302. Anyway, so we are going to use that opportunity, as I always do here. My motto in the metal shop is to upgrade. So what I did was I found this handbrake, and this is from an MG. I picked this up on eBay. Now this was actually meant to mount just as you see it, like this, on the left-hand side, or the passenger side of an English car. Anyway, the left-hand side, so opposite where it would be on a Cobra. So what I did was I had a friend of mine, Phil, he changed this gear setup here. He brazed and filled the holes, re-drilled them on the other side so we could flip this around. I flipped around the pawl and I rebent this lever here to make it a passenger side, a right-hand side handbrake. But what I found was this lever to be a little bit too short for what I needed. It doesn't, having been modified, it doesn't quite operate as smoothly as I would like, but it would work. It's just a little too short. So then I, found through exhaustive internet searching, I found this. And this is made, I believe it's for a lot of different English cars, for an Austin Healey, for whatever. But this is a brand new piece. It's longer by, you can see, by, a couple, 2.5, 3 inches. And who couldn't use it a little bit of 2 or 3 extra inches, right guys? Anyway, but brand new piece, set up to work on the passenger side. And I picked this up from Sports and Classics Inc. out of Stamford, Connecticut. Sports and Classics Inc. And they sell this for, it's expensive. It's about $300. I picked this one up. It was maybe $120, plus I paid to have it modified. So anyway, Sports and Classics out of Connecticut. And we got this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I manufactured a bracket. What I did was I'm going to utilize, these are the holes and the opening in the floor on the passenger side for the stock Fox Body handbrake. What I'm going to do is I had a bracket manufactured that will use, whoa, threw that on the ground. It's going to use these holes to mount this piece, and this flat here will now give strength to mount this to the tunnel, the drive shaft tunnel, or the drivetrain tunnel there, where, as you know, in this car, it's just very thin sheet metal. It wouldn't give strength necessary for the torque here. So we made this template, and a good friend of mine, fabricator, actually you should check out his channel. It's called Cantstaystock, all one word, Cantstaystock on YouTube. He's manufacturing a Suzu Trooper right now, huge axles, huge wheels and tires, LS powered. He is a very skilled fabricator. His channel is great. It's just a fledgling thing getting up off the ground, so get in there on the ground floor. Anyway, he bent me this piece up out of aluminum, and we'll go over to the car here, and I'll show you what I'm kind of thinking for how this is going to work. And here we'll shimmy down beside the Cobra and all the junk in the wall. So there we can see the hole in the floor for the old handbrake. This piece is going to essentially bolt from the underside, obviously, and we'll go under and I'll have a quick look. It'll bolt like that, adding the strength here. There is a cross support here kind of like a ladder frame with square tube there, where I think I'll be able to rivet or bolt this in to add even more strength. But then this will mount somewhere thusly. I'll drill the holes through it. You know, I'm gonna have to remove the seat because really, as I was saying, it kind of mounts back here, kind of in this area. It actually goes kind of like on an angle like this. Then you pull it more up, straight and down. So this would be, this is engaged, this is off, something like that. And this will look nice, much more proper for the car. Much more, like I said, trying to make it more accurate, more period correct. You know, the shifter, the steering wheel, the center hub. I'm gonna do the gauges, I'm gonna do everything. So, and I have, take another little walk here. Those are magnetic meatballs, magnetic roundels. Don't work on my fiberglass car so good. Too bad. I also have the tall shift boot from Finish Line for this English style handbrake, which is much more appropriate for our car. So let's have a brief pause. We'll go underneath the car. All right, so we are under the car. You see this nice bracket here right off the frame where I'm going to use to give strength. There's the hole for the regular handbrake, and you'll see, if you can see there, that's that cross brace. And there's actually a gap in there, which is unfortunate. Well, it's fortunate because my bracket will fit up in there, but I'm not really going to be able to use that for strength. That is also going to preclude me from putting the handbrake as far back as I'd really like it. On the originals, it would definitely be back and interfere with that brace. So mine is going to have to go somewhere in this area right here. And here, hopefully I can maneuver this, and please accept my apologies for my terrible camera work here while I slip this in place. But there, you can see the bracket in there. I'll drill a couple holes, we'll bolt this in. This will provide a lot of strength for that handbrake. You know, we'll drill a hole saw, we'll drill a couple holes, and we'll put those long screws and bolts in from this side. So I'm not going to be able to film that. I'm stuffed underneath this car here. It's just up on jack stands. Harbor Freight? No, not Harbor Freight. Yes, Harbor Freight jack stands. Oh my God, my life is in peril here. But anyway, I'll get this drilled out and get some fitting going on here. All right, cool. I forgot to mention, I'm also using this universal emergency brake cable kit that I got from Lokar. I picked this up on Amazon. I used this on the last car. This is fantastic. I don't really need the cables. I'm going to use the cables that are in the car, I think, but these cables are awesome. Cut them to length, but what I bought this for is for this hardware kit right here. And you used to be able to get just this hardware kit from Lokar, but and it was cheap too. I want to say it was like 37 bucks. Shut the video off with my thumb. Anyway, I used to be able to pick this up directly from Lokar from like 37 bucks, but you can see, you know, this is a really nice guide for your two cables to get them in line, and this will certainly come in handy. I'll mount this somewhere underneath and get the cables going right where they need to in that. Two cables come through there, and now they mount into this block here, this union, with, you know, pinched with these Allen screws here, these grub screws, really nice. And then this hooks directly to the emergency brake handle itself, and there you go. Bob is your uncle. So 200 bucks for this kit, but you know, well worth it. I may end up having to use these cables if the ones are on the car are too short anyway. So yeah, these are nice. And I did a video about how to shorten these cables while they're already mounted in the car. Preferably you're going to shorten the cables off the car, where you can slide the inner part of the cable out of the sleeve. And this is like, there's 3 parts of this sleeve. It's really Lokar is really nice stuff. I can't say enough good things about them. And then I did not get these for free. They're not paying me. But ideally what you do is you can slide this cable out of the way, cut this to your length, cut this to your length. But it can be done if it's already mounted in the car. There's a way to do it, and I have a video. Check it out. All right, let's get to work. So I just want to show you where we're at. I have this light just does not ever do what you want it to do, ever. God, have the great. Have the piece, the bracket mounted in there, and I put a little bit of, you know, 3M strip adhesive, I call it dum-dum, caulking around there to seal up that hole. And what I've done here is I drilled it out with a 7/8 hole saw, measured where I wanted the handle, made sure it was good, spatially underneath. That will go in there just like so. I got to drill out the holes to mount this, and I'll probably have to put a couple washers in there just to space it out away from the transmission tunnel here a little bit. But you know, I gave myself a little bit of extra room. The hole saw made really quick work of that. I'm leaving the carpet in place, not really having any problems. This type of carpet doesn't bunch up and spool up on you there. So I'll get one of these holes drilled, the bracket in place, get the other one drilled, and yeah, we'll get this mounted up. So yeah, it's working out pretty well so far. All right, so unfortunately, this is we're gonna have to leave off for tonight. The issue I ran into, got all my holes drilled, we're fitting good. The only problem is the bolts that come with the Handbrake they're much too big and they're metric. So, and it's almost 7 p.m. here, so I gotta go to the hardware store tomorrow, get some shorter bolts, preferably some Imperial SAE bolts. But yeah, no, we are in very good shape here. And the Handbrake will, let's see, go something like that. Pretty nice. Clear the dash. That'll be right about there, will be on. Right about there will be off. And again, we're a little bit forward from a traditional, from a true Shelby AC Cobra, will be mounted further back towards the seat. There's really nothing I can do there. I have that brace right in the way, so you got to compromise a tiny little bit here and there. So anyway, join me tomorrow. We'll get the right bolts and we'll get this thing mounted up. Right, so we're under the car. This is hooked up. The parking brake is actually tensioned right now, so those things are pretty well taut. You can see here that Lokar apparatus. You can see the cables coming through here. I ran them through the frame. There's where the arm connects here with this little clevis, you know, little cotter pin deal. Let's see, the other, this car, the guy built it, he ran the cables here underneath this round tube, and they kind of dug in here. I mean, even though they were a jacketed cable, I mean, that's not ideal. That probably hastened their demise. Anyway, this is a tough shot. I wanted to show you guys that, and let's see if we can see back here near the drive shaft. The cables go really close to the drive shaft, so what I had to do was, this is a cushion, a large cushion zip tie, like it's, you know, really nice and big and wide here. And the cables go through here to keep it all away from the drive shaft. And this thing has a nice hole in the end, and I used a self tapper to hold the zip tie here so that it can't move, and so that those cables won't go slack. And that may have happened too. The cables may have somehow gotten fouled here in the drive shaft, and like I said, hasten their demise. But we've got them up there out of the way. It works pretty good. So yeah, we'll go up back into the cockpit, have a look. All right, so we're back up top. You can see the handbrake here. The boot is not installed. Did have a little mishap. I did cut a slit in the boot here to slip around the mechanism there, and it just tore. And I didn't think I was being particularly forceful. I was trying to get it tucked in there. And so anyway, my mother sews. I'm gonna have her sew this. It's just inexpensive vinyl. I'm gonna have her sew this up, and we'll actually attach a couple pieces of Velcro here and here, so it'll make a nice, clean installation. We also got a little piece of carpet put down in there, cover it up. You're not gonna see it. The boot covers up all this nonsense here from the old hole. I did use a grommet where the arm assembly goes through there, the lever assembly goes through the transmission tunnel, and what actually worked perfectly was the grommet for the rear quick jacks. So if you buy grommets for quick jacks for a fiberglass car, that grommet is the perfect size. I did have to use a little 3-in-1 oil, a little bit of lube, never hurts, to jam that through. But yeah, works pretty good. Looks way better. There is a good amount of slack. Like, it really doesn't, it starts to take up, you know, the latter third of its travel. But I've tested it. The wheels will not turn when the thing is engaged. I'll probably tension it one more time. Actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it tensioned. And I'm just... That wheel does not want to spin me good. One more click. That wheel will not spin at all. Anyway, so yeah, nice little project here. Again, I'll include a link for where to pick up the handbrake, and this is just a much better option for our cars than to use the crappy Fox Body Mustang handbrake. So hopefully you've gleaned from this kind of haphazard video here how to get this installation done, how I accomplished it. Really wasn't too bad. Just, you know, if you had a lift, it would be way better. You know, instead of working on your back, you know, I'm up, down, or having a shop assistant up here on top, hanging on to bolts and stuff for you while you're tightening them from down below. Would have been super nice. Anyway, my friends, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching. Truly appreciate your support. Give me a like. If you're new to the channel, please click subscribe. Hit the bell. You get notifications. Notifications for new videos. And I'm trying to crank them out here. Again, YouTube is not my full-time job. Oh, and hit me up in the comments too. I do respond to all comments. So like I said, thanks for your support, my friends. Take care. Proper English handbrake in my Cobra. Bye-bye.